We have 4 of our 5 members here. Bill Tiegelman, Steph Ritter, Julie Coates, from Rappahannock. First order of business is to adopt the agenda.
I move that.
And I'm going to make a recommendation, having gone through this yesterday, that I'm going to request that we remove the public hearing, the number 2 public hearing for where do you go? There it is. Yeah, Hubbard.
Yes.
The material that we've received doesn't meet the code requirements of 170-57. There's no pictures of the house. There's no indications of parking areas. Let me go through the list here. Okay. What we are supposed to have as and what's supposed to be before a public hearing is scheduled, we're supposed to have a scale drawing of the property, showing the property lines, the abutting streets with names and route numbers, location of all existing and proposed buildings and uses, highway entrance and driveways, parking, proposed landscaping, photos of pertinent information, house, driveway, etc., approval from DDOT, and approval from the health department. We're missing the photos. There are photos, but they are strictly the driveway. No other photos. There's no scale drawing. There's no property lines, locations of existing proposed buildings and uses. But, we could go into the public hearing, but myself, I would abstain because basically it's written in the county code that these things are required in order for it to be brought before us, that they're not in information we have, and we really don't have a choice. I don't know if the board is agreeable to that, or...
Is Ms. Hubbard here?
They're not even at the meeting?
She's not here.
No, apparently not.
This is not the house.
That's not the house.
Ah.
That's the house at the end of the driveway.
Was that a motion?
What?
Was that a motion?
No, that's not a motion. I was bringing that up. If someone would like to make a motion, or I don't know.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we adopt the agenda with the amendment that we take out SUP 21-0901 Hubbard Tourist Home until such time as the application can be.
Yeah, basically it needs to go back to the zoning administrator, and she needs to provide us with all the necessary information.
I will second that motion.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Okay, so now we will need and also one other point on the agenda, which for time's sake, we have to go through here on the calendar for our meetings.
Yeah, you have a mistake.
I would like to put that farther back in the meeting because there is something we need to discuss on that. So if we can put that under. Well, we've got old business. And we'll put that back in with the annual report. We'll discuss the annual report, whatever. We'll do the calendar. So do we have a...
What's the one? You want to take the...
1-year-old granddaughter.
Can you just restate what it is we're doing?
Okay, just right now, just move the approval of the calendar for our meetings to, later,
2.A or something?
yeah, the G in under old business. We'll put it under old business, it'll work. So now we need a motion to adopt the agenda with the aforesaid changes.
Well, I should move.
The motion, second?
Second?
Can we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now, we're into our organizational meeting, the annual meeting requirements. This is the point where we have to elect officers for the next year, and there's also a resolution that we have to pass. And as we just made the decision, we'll do the calendar later in the meeting. So, with that said, we don't have an administrator to step in here, so I'll ask for no motions.
So we're looking for, having motions for officers?
Yeah.
I nominate you for chair.
I second.
Okay, so we have a motion to, you didn't put a name on it.
Let me just phrase the motion more properly. I nominate Ron Matha to be chairman of the Board of Zoning Appeals for the year 2022.
I second.
We have a second, motion and a second. Any other further nominations? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations and have a vote by acclamation. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, moving on. Vice Chairman. Do you have any nominations?
I nominate Julie. Oh, no, I don't. I retract that. I want her to be secretary. She's too good at what she does.
I nominate Sharon Pierce for vice chair.
What she said?
Sure.
Sharon.
I'm kind of bit by default, right?
You're it.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for Sharon Pierce as Vice Chairman. We'll vote by acclamation. All in favor, say aye.
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 Congratulations. Next is the Secretary, and I think we can do this two at a time because we did it last year. Is that the FOIA officer, the Secretary also takes on that responsibility because it ends up being something that she has to be involved in anyways. So I need a nomination for the Secretary / FOIA officer.
Now I can nominate Julie.
I second.
Excellent. Any other nominations? None being heard, vote by acclamation, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have officers.
We have one more.
Oh, yes, that's true. We have to do the representative to the planning commission.
Yeah, I nominate Steph.
Good idea.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? By acclamation, say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It would have been interesting if we didn't vote you in, wouldn't it? Okay, now to the high point of the evening. We have a presentation of a resolution. Mr. Sharp, would like to step forward?
Stand up.
Come on up front.
And I'm going to do this in case.
Photographic moment.
It's a Kodak moment.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm going to read this. We read it in our last meeting when we passed it, but this is a resolution of appreciation, whereas College Sharp III was served on the Rappahannock County Board of Zoning Appeals as a representative from the Hampton District from October 1990 through September 2021, as chairman from January 2015 to September of 2021, and whereas Alex's dedication to his responsibilities his leadership as chairman, his congeniality, his concern for the community, and his dedication to sound land use planning in Rappahannock has been manifested through all of his years as a member, as chairman, and as a representative to the BZA Planning Commission. To the BZA representative to the Planning Commission. And now therefore, we have resolved that the Board of Zoning Appeals for the Rappahannock County does hereby express its sincere appreciation and thank Alex Sharp for his leadership and long distinguished service to the board and to the county. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution will be spread across the minutes of the Board of Zoning Appeals of Rappahannock County, and that a presentation copy will be provided to Alexander Sharp III.
Actually, it's the 7th, but, yeah, that's what's. Thank you, that's a lot of work. Wow.
You left a big gap here, but we'll see what we can do.
Okay, well, I'll try to take it. I mean, I'll try not to. Thank you. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay. Oh, we missed one item, of course. We'll go back to the organizational meeting right now and just pass the resolution that we need to pass. This is the organizational meeting resolution of the Board of Zoning Appeals of Rappahannock County, Virginia. Resolved, the Board of Zoning Appeals of Rappahannock County, Virginia takes the following actions as part of its organizational meeting for calendar year 2022. Regular meetings of the Board of Zoning Appeals shall be held on the fourth Wednesday of every month, except during the months of November and December, when, wait a minute, this is the, let's see. No, we're gonna put this off. This also goes with the calendars. Yeah, there's wording in here that is pertinent to what we're gonna talk about. So we're gonna put that off. So now we'll go to the minutes. First we have the minutes from, first we'll do the minutes from December 16th, or no, October 27th, excuse me. Which I'm hoping everyone has read, and has anybody found any problems?
No. I move that we approve the minutes of October 27, 2021.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, moving on to
December 16th.
December 16th, that's right. A very short meeting.
Yes.
Very short. And you've all read the copies of that. Any changes or corrections? Okay, a motion to approve minutes for December 16th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for the 16th.
Second? Second? All in favor? Aye. Okay. That's out of the way. Now, we're to public hearings.
Or do you want to put the changes to the rules of procedure? Oh, that would be.
Yeah. Okay, public hearings. The first public hearing is the Turner SUP 21-9-3 Turner tax map 13-94A accessory dwelling unit. And basically, we had opened a public hearing on that in October at our October 27th meeting. So we will reconvene that hearing. But first, before we get into anything, we recessed that hearing because there was information that we felt was needed in order to make a decision. In the process of gathering that information, we basically found out that there was, a lot that had gone on there. Oh, there it is. And brought to the attention of the zoning administrator a number of factors. And based on those factors, she submitted an email to us that affects where we're at now. So I'm going to read that email that we received from the zoning administrator. There was a question regarding the health department, and her answer or response on that was, I cannot speak with the health department, but Meg has made her comments, and that has to do with the septic system, which is an item that, as Board of Zoning Administrators, we don't have any control over that. That's strictly between the property owner and the health department that represents the state. So then her second response on it was, the accessory structure was permitted at the time when there was no side yard setbacks, and as such is existing, non-conforming relative to its position, and cannot be deemed illegal or in violation. This is a zoning issue, actually, that we really don't have anything to do with here. But and then number 3 in their response was, prior government officials apparently authorized the change of use of the accessory structure garage to its current form, which would provide for a vested right. Even if they did not authorize the change of use, the owners, past and present, have paid more than 15 years of taxes on the structure. Use is currently configured, and as such, it is by definition vested and considered non-conforming and cannot be deemed illegal per the Code of Virginia 15.2-2307D. Per this code section of the Code of Virginia, we can require the structure to meet the Uniform Southern Building Code and Virginia 15.2-2307.D. Whoops, I read that wrong. So the building code, and that could be a reasonable condition of the SUP. But here's the kicker. It would appear that an ADU permit is not required at this point due to vesting rights, but the owner has come forward to clean up the record, and this might provide an opportunity to help ensure the structure is safe from a Uniform Southern Building Code perspective. Based on that, no permits required. And I think your desire was to come and basically the information is provided that you were looking for. So I think basically we can, if someone would like to make a motion to take no action.
I saw
And,
her.
Well, before we do that, because we've been through all of this, it's almost like we haven't even gone through, I mean, can they get their application money back? I mean, no?
That would be something that the applicant might
All right.
want to look, I agree that the applicant might want to look at that, but it's not a decision we can make.
All right.
And basically, actually, before we vote, because we are actually in a public hearing, I'm going to close the public hearing. And now we can take a vote.
Now, I imagine that, do you have a copy of that?
Yes.
Oh, good, okay.
Yeah, I've kept them informed on all of the emails.
Forgive me, I've not been totally clear, and you may not know, because I think this was done before you bought it, but did they have permits to change the garage into a one-bedroom?
It was a one-bedroom.
What?
Oh, originally when it was
It was
built?
a garage and a one-bedroom. And a bathroom.
So there was no garage that was converted into a dwelling?
It's
Is
a
that correct?
rectangular building.
I've been confused about this, sorry.
No, that's okay. It's a rectangular building,
Mm-hmm.
and it was 2 garages and a bar, and a bedroom, and a bathroom, and a tiny little kitchen.
Right, but that was all done with permits.
Yeah,
Correct.
and so I changed one of the garages into a bedroom. And the other garage I've changed into another one, so I haven't changed the outside of the building at all.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, basically, the changes were made with a valid permit, but it was, the information was very gray, sort of foggy or whatever, as to what the purpose of it. The original, if you read the building permit, it was to put a bathroom in the building. And that sort of morphed into a residence, and nobody knows exactly how that happened, but it did, and as was said, they've been paying taxes on for 15 years ago.
Right.
So it's investment right, and that's the way it goes.
Color of title.
But
It's a color of title. They have title to it because they've been paying the taxes on it, and that basically.
well, I mean, it's a vested right.
Right.
So with that, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Before we make the motion,
Oh.
our actions taken are either to approve or deny it. There's not really an option for no action taken.
Well, they could withdraw the request.
I mean, couldn't they just withdraw the application and just call that it?
I believe that would be possible.
I suggest, yes, that's what I would suggest, and that would perhaps
Okay,
be
yes,
the case
good
of
point.
getting their money back if they can at all for the application fee.
Very good.
So then we don't have to take any action because there's no
Well,
application.
they have to.
Do you feel comfortable?
At this point in time, you're withdrawing the request.
No, we thought we were doing the right thing.
Right,
Yeah, that's
well,
fine.
Yeah.
We've done the right thing.
We just want everybody to be
have.
happy.
All being resolved, and thank you for all the time it's taken. It's taken a lot of time and effort.
Okay, so the applicant is asking to withdraw the application, and therefore, there's no action needed by the board, and the matter is.
Done.
Have you said bless you?
It took a while,
You're set.
but I think we got the information that you needed, and so
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
enjoy your new home.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, next, we have a application for a tourist home. Keep here. Okay, so we have SUP 21-9-3, Turner, tax map 13-94A, ADU, accessory dwelling unit. Reading the wrong one now. Let's go to 3. There we go.
2112.
Yes, good. I take back what I just said. There, let's go to SUP 21-12-01, Thornhill, tax map 56-27, tourist home. Okay, Mr. Thornhill has applied for a one-bedroom tourist home for property located at 38 Littlefield Lane, identified by the tax map 56-27A. The property is 20.28 acres in size and zoned agricultural. This use is pursuant to 170-36E and subject to the additional regulations of 170-66.K. And it should be noted that they actually already have a special use permit for a family apartment, but they are wishing to use it now as a tourist home, so that would be the requested change. Is the applicant here to make any comments?
Do you have any questions?
Do you all have any questions?
We had a special use permit for our son to move in 4 years ago. I don't have
So, and our obligation was for him, for a family member to be in it for 2 years, and we have fulfilled that.
And that's the top part of that barn?
Carl redid that, and then they moved into that. So they're
They
still,
have since moved to the farm,
Yeah.
so I don't particularly want to rent her there year round, so.
I feel like
we thought
there's
we would
less
have the
traffic
option.
that way to do this.
And then if we have family overflow, we've got a place to put them and not have to put them in a hotel somewhere. So that's where we at on it.
Sounds like a plan. Okay, let's go, is there anybody that wants to comment? I'm going to open public, the hearing is public comment. Is anybody here to make any public comment? Hearing none, we'll close the public comment hearing portion. And do any of the board members have questions of the applicant?
You understand that, I'm sorry, you understand that, this does not convey with the property, this,
Correct,
right,
If we were to sell it, what you're saying.
correct.
That's right.
gotcha.
Somebody, the next guy or girl would have to go through the same process.
We could run through the general standards and answer them all.
Are there any other questions? I have just a couple of questions here. Is there a landline phone in the building?
No, no landline.
No landline.
There is internet in the building.
Do you have cell phone service?
Correct.
There's-
Full coverage? I mean, are you off that tower down in Boston?
They are, T-Mobile is 5G right there now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so jealous.
Oh my God.
Can we come up there?
I mean, we've been talking about the landline and, you know,
Oh,
we
they're
had the
terrible.
power out for 5 days and then the phone was out for 14, so.
Yeah.
Been there.
Okay.
And I'm sure everybody has.
There are times when we're requiring landlines because of poor cell phone communication, but I know that area because of the Boston Tower now has.
Yeah, we're real fortunate.
Okay, and also our fire extinguisher in the building
Yes,
Yes,
and smoke detector.
yes.
yes. And the CO2, carbon dioxide.
Oh, carbon monoxide. Excellent. Okay, any other?
Yeah, the list of emergency numbers is that.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
that's all.
okay. Yeah, basically post a
Yes.
list of emergency numbers for the applicant. And you live actually,
We're good.
right there.
500-600 feet.
Yeah, so you're next to
The reason why we had to get a special permit for it was because the building was too far from the original residence. And the reason why we couldn't put it any closer is because of the topographical lay of the land.
Right.
And Sharon knows, she's been there.
Yeah, I think that. Do you need to go through this?
We actually, there's a copy of this, I believe, included with the,
Yeah.
with the application, with the answers on it, so we don't have to go through that.
Yeah.
Do
Great.
we all agree with them, the answers?
They were all answered yes, or well.
Yes, we.
Sure, anybody, anything else?
If the board is finished asking questions, you can entertain a motion.
I feel that applications such as this, where you have the owner living at the same property, is almost by right, really. So, I mean, irregardless, I make the motion for approval, but I think in theory, applications like this really should be by right.
I second it.
I second.
In the motion, now that there were, the motion would be with the recommendations from the zoning administrator and the fire extinguishers, and smoke detectors, and emergency numbers list.
I think that's in the motion.
So we got everything we need, Julie?
Yes.
Okay. I'll entertain a vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? You got it.
Thank you. So, what do I need to go to the commission? I know there's a tax that has to be paid to the county, so what do I do from here?
That's
Or I
something that,
talk to you afterwards? Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You.
Good job. Thank you.
okay. Now we've got the Annual reports, we have 2 of them. Thank you, Julie.
Yeah, good work.
Taking care of old business and stuff up on new business.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to leave. I'm just not comfortable in this room with people who aren't wearing masks on this table also. And so I don't think I can have any input onto the report because I wasn't a member during that. So excuse me, please.
You're right. Okay, the Board of Zoning Appeals annual report for 2020. Everyone put an eyeball on that and read it?
Yeah, I did, I was that.
Well put together, very brief and to the point.
Succinct.
Quite honestly, nobody's probably ever going to read it anyways.
Yeah.
So I will entertain a motion to pass the annual report for 2020.
I so moved.
Second,
Second?
all in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Moving on, 2021.
How long did it take you to put this together?
What?
God, it's-
Any corrections or comments on the 2021 report?
I move we approve the annual report from 2021.
Second,
I'll second.
motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're going
Yeah,
back.
good job. Yeah.
Now, the calendar and the resolution. And I brought this up last year and wasn't successful, but I'm going to give another shot here on where this board meets.
I need to make it, I think the September date is September 28th. If anybody has a calendar, I think that's.
That may be true. 23rd seems to go, unless it depends on when the first Thursday is in March.
The September date was changed to the 28th.
September 20,
That is the fourth Wednesday, and it's been uploaded on Boarddocs.
Okay, thanks.
Excellent. Oh, okay, and now on this one, also, it's gonna be our choice, but I would think that the December meeting would be best done on the 22nd and not the 28th, because the 28th is the week between Christmas and New Year's, and most people, either they're out of town, or applicants, or family vacations, or whatever, and we can meet on the 22nd, which is, not that close to Christmas or whatever, so I don't think there'd be a problem there.
Okay,
Change that to,
there's not a conflict with the planning commission?
I think the planning commission's the 21st.
There's the 21st, yeah,
Oh,
this
okay,
will make
great.
Okay, great. I
the
didn't
7th,
agree.
November and December are normally on Thursdays,
Yeah, that's great.
so if we change that to December 22nd, that would probably make a lot of people happy.
Yeah.
But before we pass this and the resolution, it's the location of where we meet that I would like to bring up, and that I've got information here. Okay, the Wiley Wilson report on building conditions in the county. This building has problems. I mean, one of their first comments under architectural is there are numerous life safety concerns to the courthouse with issues ranging from electrical, emergency egress, and limited security to protect the occupants from possible acts of violence. Personally, I'm not real comfortable meeting in a building that has those problems. Also, from an ADA standpoint,
Yeah, it's terrible.
it's terrible. I mean, yes, there is that lift that comes up, but,
Yeah, and Alex rode it up and down, as I recall.
oh, it does operate, but that's for people that are in a wheelchair. If we're on a walker, I've seen both of you guys try to get up those steps. That can be like going up old rags when you've got either joint
Oh,
problems
man, they
or
come around too.
or if you've got heart problems or whatever. I mean, and there's no other access, egress. There's a fire in the lobby. That's the window. That's how you get out.
That's it.
Down the fire escape, which on a night like this, if it was drizzly out or whatever, would be coated with ice. So I think, it's time, it's been years since, particularly the ADA access. And also their comments here on that is that the signage is not available. The signage as far as someone coming to the meeting and not knowing where the handicap access is not available. You come down Gay Street, there's no signs or whatever. So I think for what our needs are as a board, space-wise, and I checked with the library, the Jameson room, it is available for all of our meeting dates that we have here on the list. And I think from an ADA standpoint and a safety standpoint from, the notes here from the Wiley people, that we change our location.
Well, I have no objection. Michelle?
It's not up to me, it's up to you guys.
There's lots of county meetings that take place there.
So my thoughts are, we are probably the shortest duration meeting that occurs in here. Obviously, court is occurring here. We have the planning commission meeting here. We have the board of supervisors meeting here for a lot of meetings. And I think I hear you. There are issues with this building, but I think we have been having meetings here for a very long time. And the risk is relatively low with respect to us, especially when you look at the amount of time and especially the amount of time the board of supervisors spend here and the planning commission. Those meetings can go on marathon sessions. And so I think for the sake of consistency and with all the other boards, I think it should stay where it is, especially as far as where the public is expected to be. I mean, how long has it been in this building?
Forever.
Forever.
That's true, but the report is, this report is not been widely circulated.
No,
It's on Boarddocs.
No question.
It's on Boarddocs.
And what's it titled?
It's the building assessment
Boarddocs.
for all the town buildings.
I see.
Where a lot of people care.
And I might add that,
We can move it for, if we needed to move, if we had like a controversial application or appeal or something like that, we could move the meeting for that specific thing if we expected a large audience.
yes, we could move back here, or we could move to, there are other locations, they move meetings, supervisors meetings from here to the high school or the elementary school if they're expecting a large crowd.
Exactly, and
And that
I
is-
think our message says it should be exactly the same. It should be here, except by exception.
That's where the problem is the handicap accessibility. That's my main reason, is that this county is a retirement community and there are older people that have mobility problems, they have heart problems or whatever. This building does not, permit them to attend freely these meetings.
Well, but changing it for us isn't gonna change the planning commission or change the board of
I'm
supervisors.
not concerned about that. I'm talking about, we as a board have a responsibility under ADA to hold our meetings in an ADA accessible location.
Well, so does
For
everybody else.
for the crowd that we normally have, which is very limited, the Jameson room meets those standards. And I think we have to make every effort to meet those standards.
But don't all these other organizations or meetings are all subject to the same requirements?
Exactly.
Same way in the same department.
of ADA, they'd all have to meet that. I mean, somehow, somebody must be meeting some standard here in some way, or we couldn't do anything.
They are
How can they
ignoring
even
the
have
standard.
court here?
They're ignoring the standard. They've ignored it for years. There's, other than the lift that comes up,
Yeah.
if you read what's in here, I mean, it is not, the Wiley report is not complimentary to the ADA access to this building.
But they're actually saying that it doesn't, we don't comply and we're not going to. That's what they're saying there?
It doesn't say we're not going to. They could adapt this building.
Well, sure.
Ron, there's a code book for existing structures. Maybe you should check that out with the building office
Good idea.
and the requirements.
Good idea.
Well, apparently Wiley didn't check that out then?
I'm just making a suggestion.
Okay.
Good suggestion.
And like I said, what I'm getting at here is that somebody in this county's got to stand up and say, yeah, people with disabilities deserve to be able to freely access our meetings, and they can't do it here.
It's a fairly bit.
And for someone who
Chairman,
may
may I
have,
speak? The BOS and the building committee are meeting this week, just on this subject, let's face it. In a very short time, it's hopeful that some steps will start to be taken on fixing these buildings. Now, I'm not saying that ADA requirements are gonna suddenly magically work here, but we're going to probably have a time in the very near future where some of these buildings are gonna be empty and people are gonna be redirected to somewhere else while something gets fixed. Because they have to fix the outside first, which will probably be the least likely problem. But when they start having to do interior work, there's going to be a lot of moving around. So, I mean, I almost want to say, take a look and see what happens on Friday and see if that's moving you in the right direction. I agree, ADA, this place is terrible. And there's a whole lot of things wrong with this building. But this may not be the first one they do anything with, for all we know. But the fact is, there's going to be, they've talked in the past about having to put things in temporary places. So you may not even have a choice. You may get kicked out of here one day, not too long from now, for all we hope. Because this is time, money, energy, getting the people to do the work, which is difficult now to find people that can come and do the restorative work that needs to be done. It's, if you could ask the library to hold those days or some of those days in the next few months, it may be worthwhile.
we have to make the decision
Yeah.
tonight. It can be, it's a one-year decision.
I don't know.
There's nothing that, if corrections are made, we can come back. But like I said, my point is, and I think it's an important point, and I think it's not.
I think you're going in the right direction, I just don't know.
ADA people have the right to access to these meetings, and they don't get it in this building.
Yeah.
And we can, because of the size of what we do, and like I said, there are numerous other county boards that meet in the Jameson room.
Sure,
But,
it's true.
yes,
I have no trouble with that. I mean, the only issue is the public notice.
well, that's what we're doing right here, and that's why we have to do it tonight, because if we pass these two, the calendar and the resolution, the calendar states, which is why we could not, when we had our December 16th meeting, meet on the front steps, because it says right here in the courtroom on the second floor.
Well, I just want to remind you that we are a quasi judicial body, and this is a courthouse. And so I think it's appropriate for us to be here versus like a park authority or something like that.
Well, it's
unfortunate that we have, the timing is really terrible that we have to make a decision tonight because there's clearly a lot of things going on in the very near term, and it would probably behoove us before we even made a decision to find out what people's plans are.
Well, I went through the plans today. The plans.
I mean, no, there's a meeting this Friday, is it?
Right.
Right,
But this one, we don't know that.
they meet monthly now, I believe.
Right, well, I mean, we
So
can
it's
go
not-
there and see
the
what they're
decision
saying.
is not gonna be made,
Can we postpone this decision?
well, after we, make the decision, then it's a moot point anyway, so we adjourn and go home.
Well, I'll make the motion that we keep it as is and move by exception.
Exception being,
If we have,
Deliberation and saying we
well, we can't,
can't.
we can't, it's very difficult once we
Here.
pass on this to make a change.
no, we can, if we have a hearing that we think will be controversial, we can change as long as we advertise where the change
Right.
is. Or if there's some kind of
Well, yeah.
issue with the building, then we
But we
can,
wouldn't,
that's what I mean by exception.
okay, because that has nothing to do with handicap accessibility. That's, like I said, that is my point, it's really, I mean, the problems with the building, fire-wise and whatever.
Have we had problems that we know of that have been presented to us as having, we don't actually have, this problem hasn't presented it to us, it's all just a perspective problem, right?
Correct.
Well, yes and no. I mean,
No, Ron,
I
it
mean,
really
nobody's
isn't.
actually officially said, oh, the guy can't get in there, he's violating ADA.
Well, there was a woman who came in.
That's
the
correct.
wheelchair, But she, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
We did have a lady in
in respect to
wheelchair
her on that particular
one day.
meeting, we basically recessed the meeting so she could, leave the building. But the other point I made a year ago was, you bring a person up here, and it's a long meeting, and they need to go to the bathroom. What do?
But
Yes,
if it's,
we're
if it's
really-
good, if
we're
it's-
easy to get along with
No.
here.
yes,
That's not handicap accessible there. They would have to raise their hand, and again, that's what ADA is about. People are supposed to be, not have to,
Special
stand out, do anything exceptional or whatever. But here, they have to ask somebody, and then they have to bring the lift up, and bring it back down, and bring it back up. That's the kinds of things that, and that's why people don't show up. If you come in, imagine if you were using a walker.
No,
You can't stand on that thing and ride up. That's not safe. So in that case, somebody would have to find a chair or something for you to sit on. It's just, it's not fair to those folks. And as I'm saying, that building over there, the library is handicap accessible. And I think it's our responsibility,
also,
but
it's
it's not
very-
my choice.
It also has a very much smaller capacity. A significantly smaller capacity,
How many
maybe
people?
half the capacity addition.
Yeah, and that's normally, we rarely have ever had.
Right, that is true, but,
Well,
have we ever
let's-
had an overflow crowd?
Let's call for a vote then.
I made a motion, did it
Okay.
die?
We have a motion then. Do we have a second?
the motion
We
is,
keep everything the same.
We stay the same, okay.
no, I'm gonna second that motion.
Actually,
Are you
we don't even need a
saying?
motion, we can just vote on these items then, because it would be, the reason for the motion would be to change the wording on what we're going
Fair
to vote on, so, and there appears to be, we can go by consensus basically, is that, I'm getting the consensus that we remain in this location. Okay, I give it a shot. So, with that in
What
mind,
about Bill? What's your vote?
I'm good.
okay, so
Yes, I agree, I totally agree with you about that.
I think there's a time right now when we really want to, before we actually do anything serious, we have a chance Friday to actually have some input here and to really find out what's going on. Maybe they have plans that would obviate all our difficulties and that all we have to do is find out about it.
it's on Boarddocs.
Huh?
It's on Boarddocs already.
What is it?
And then not the timetable, but it's, we're talking a long-term project.
Yes, yeah, I can understand. I used to do building restoration, historical buildings, so I understand the issues, but I didn't see the.
Yeah, it's, I mean, that's what the report is about that I was referencing.
Right.
and they're going down, and they have to prioritize. They're looking at building, they're actually looking at building a new courthouse, and, you know, there's a whole other story there that we don't want to talk about right now, but a judge at any time can say they won't have court here anymore, and they'll have to move it to Park here.
Mhm.
So, but that's not,
If it's
That's
good
not our
enough for
problem.
the
That's not our
judge, I
problem.
think it should be good enough for us.
well, yes. Okay. So we have our annual meeting schedule then, which we've talked about the date of, and we changed March, or we didn't change it, well, we did actually, it's supposed to be 28th. And this one's the 23rd, and we changed it to December 22nd for the December meeting. Everything else stays the same. No meeting here in the courtroom on the second floor. And so I will entertain a motion to approve the meeting schedule.
I'll make the motion that we approve the meeting schedule.
I second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that one's done. And now we've got the resolution. Has everybody read the resolution?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've read it, but it's fine.
Okay, this is what gives us the ability to change meetings, basically. And it has to be passed on an annual basis, I'm told. So the regular meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals will be held on the fourth Wednesday of every month, except for during the months of November and December, when the meeting will be held on the Thursday after the third Wednesday. And I think that works
Yeah, that's.
for what we just did on, by changing,
Yeah.
yeah, we're okay on
Yeah.
that, December meeting on that. Okay, so in the courtroom, 250 Gage Street, pursuant to 15.2-2309 of Code of Virginia, in the event the chairperson or the vice chairperson, if the chairperson is unable to act, finds and declares that weather or other conditions are such that it's hazardous for members to attend any regular meeting, that meeting shall be continued until the immediately following monthly meeting. Such findings shall be communicated to the members and press as promptly as possible. All hearings and other matters previously advertised for such meetings shall be conducted at the continued meeting, and no further advertisement other than FOIA meeting notice is required. It takes a roll call vote. So we need a motion to pass.
Okay, I move that we approve this resolution.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. It's a roll call vote. Steph Ritter,
Yeah,
Ron Mackel votes aye. Bill Teagleton,
Aye.
Julie Coates,
Aye.
Sharon Pierce is absent. So the motion passes. So now we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
Wait,
yeah, we need to sign that.
Yeah,
we need to do the
we need
changes to the rules of procedures?
Right, we need those, we need to sign, pass this around. And we also have a copy here of the final resolution for Alex. That needs to be signed for the record. One of these guys,
We need to sign this.
It's just machine.
for initials.
The thing we need to sign is.
I think you put your initials, is there a place for initials on that, or?
Did you second on the third one? Did you second on the third one? Or did-
You, I don't know.
That's okay. Please.
Did you do the thing of dropping the last sentence and, dropping the last sentence and putting only in the first sentence?
Yeah. He's talking about the changes to the rules of procedure.
The thing there was where you got in the red about the, I don't remember us doing that.
Oh, Michelle's got it up, perfect. So we kind of discussed this at the last meeting.
What are we talking about now? Oh, the rules, oh, that, okay, that's,
Right, don't we have to do that?
yes.
Right,
My suggestion,
The draft thing,
we have that, but what this entails is then we have to publish, and, you know, the procedures are gonna have to be republished and everything. Having done the stuff that we've been doing lately or whatever, and comparing the county code with our procedures, there are a number of places in there that need to be looked at. So rather than doing it piecemeal,
Okay,
my suggestion is that we can do it, probably the easiest way to do it is if two of the board members get together and go through the whole thing and compare it to the requirements in the county code and make the corrections and everything, because that way it's not a meeting, we don't have to advertise it and go through all that. And then we can bring it back to the full board. We can release it to the full board, and then we can bring it back and then make all the changes at one time. Because, as I said, in this, we can do that, like, we decide who wants to do it, and then do it before our February meeting. And, because it's not gonna be all that, involved, but there are, even the requirements for our annual meeting does not jive with the county code, and we have to make some kind of correction there. And there are some other references in there that don't match with the county code, so but,
you and I can meet.
okay, is that,
Unless, Bill, do you want to do it?
we can't put three of us
We
together.
can't put
No,
three
but
of
you can do it.
No,
quite honestly,
I'd be happy to meet with one of you individually after your meeting, though, if you wanted to just, give you some fresh eyes.
Why don't you meet with Ron? That's probably the most efficient.
Huh?
Why don't you meet with Ron?
yeah, if you're interested,
Sure,
we
give it
can
to
meet
me.
and go through it, and then bring it back to the full board.
Yeah, okay.
That doesn't put a burden on you, you can do your planning commission stuff.
I wonder if there was a procedure.
Okay, and here we have this, this is, because we don't have a file copy of the resolution for Alex, so we need to sign this, and we'll have to get Sharon to sign at some point, I guess. Sign that.
He was sad.
That's the Alexander process.
No, it's there.
That's it.
We're about 21, it doesn't have to.
We left.
No. Surprise. There we go.
Great.
Did you wish to speak for public comment?
You came here to hang out?
No commercials.
That's good.
Motion to adjourn?
No, we had no motion to adjourn.
Oh, well, we need a motion to adjourn.
I so moved.
Second it?
Second, all in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.
Right. So,